5, 16, 19, 21, 30, 3 and 10. Check results. You remember?
2 o'clock in the morning. That's the current time. 1 5. I always do that for some reason. I think it's because I go to say 4 and I realize it's 5, and it just comes out with 5. But I've been noticing I say 5 like that. This isn't interesting. 5-2, I think. Very early. We're used to this. Very late or early, depending on how you want to look at things. I don't know if that's a glass half full or empty. I don't think it's either. I think it's just if you want to say early or late. Sure. Because there is a crossover point, you know what I mean? Like, if you have to get up at 2 in the morning, like, if I had to get up at 2 for something, to me, that might as well not even sleep. That's just like, that's so early. It's basically a really late start. Kind of. And then once 3 is sort of the grey area. Then once you get to 4, it's the try and sleep. This is such bad conversation. I'm halfway through Ant-Man Quantumania, and it is quite possibly the worst thing I've ever seen. That's obviously not true. There's been films I've been like made to watch, or like tricked into watching, or like Disney Channel like original movies like The Princess Switch. I can't remember what they were called. There was like that one with like Selena Gomez and Demi Lovato. You know, these Disney Channel movies I used to watch back in the day. Zapped, Zendaya, before she was, Zendaya. Was it called Zap? It was something like that. Anyway, there's obviously been worse things I've watched, but just like in general grand scheme of things, oh my god, this is so bad. Like, it doesn't even feel real. It's like an assortment of things happening. I've genuinely paused it about 10 times while watching it, just to be like, to basically out loud narrate to myself about like just the ridiculous. I don't know who's there's no sort of like touch of like 17 people could have directed this. I don't know. I've never written a script in my life or anything, right? But I feel like I could write a better one than this, because like it's one of those things when people say that, it's always like, how could you say that? I'm saying that because I don't think it could be much worse. That's why I'm saying it. It's like, I remember Spencer FC, Spencer Owen YouTube channel. I remember when England had the really bad Euros. It was when we went out to Iceland. Joe Hart had like six shots on target, and he had let in 5. And then Spencer was like having a go at Joe Hart, and he was like, they should have stuck me in goal. They should have bloody stuck me in goal. I couldn't have done much worse. Worst case scenario, I let in 6 out of 6. You know what I mean? Like, worst case scenario, I conceded 1 goal extra than he did. Actually, like, how much? I don't know what this has on Rotten Tomatoes, but like, from what I'm seeing right now, how much worse could it really be? Even written by someone with 0 knowledge. You know what I mean? It's just, it's awful. The dialogue's awful. It's like, I can't tell if there's humor, and I don't mean that in like a that kind of way. Like, this humor's so bad I can't even tell if it's even humor. It's so unfunny. No, it's not like when you watch a movie and you can see they're attempting humor, and you can see, oh, this is a moment where meant to laugh at that. I was meant to be a joke. It's not like that. It's not like they're doing jokes and I'm just not finding them funny. It's like I can't genuinely tell if they're doing jokes, because like the comedic timing is all off. Like the delivery, like there's scenes that have just like no music in the background, or like no sort of like sound mixing or sound design at all, and it's just like speaking, and it's like, have you delivered that as a joke, or are you just delivering dialogue? Like, it's so confusing with like the script to direction. Like, it's like no one wants to be here. It's like almost like they said, guys, we've got really low storage or whatever, so we're only going to use everyone's first take type thing, and then everyone just delivers it and oh wait, but I kind of didn't really do much that take, oh too bad, and then moved on. It's just like awful. Like half an hour in, and then and I'm not even talking about like the weird stuff, like how like the CGI is terrible. Like, I'm pretty sure if you told me all the actors filmed the entire room the entire film in like a room the size of the room I'm in right now, I'd believe you, because it looks like they're all just standing about 2 feet away from each other in like a room covered by like blue and green screens, whatever, and then they just all did it there. So it's like, I'm not even talking about like the terrible CGI or like the big baby head of legs thing that is going around. I'm not even talking about any of that stuff. But just like, they were having dialogue where it was meant to be serious, and like, this is like the third act we've had now for this kid. I know the kid's aging or whatever, but it's like the third act we've had for this kid. And like, oh my god, she's so irritating, man. She's not even a real character. She's like this like sort of placeholder like shell just spewing out like character traits, but she isn't an actual human. Like, oh, she wants to protect people. She's so annoying. There's no consequences for any of her stupid actions. She's just going around like, and she's like, oh, I'm in prison. Everyone's just like, yeah. Like, no one cares. And she's just genuinely doing things. Like, I feel like we're meant to like be on the side of her and be like, yeah, you go. But I'd like, no, I don't like when Spider-Man is in the first movie and he's doing the stuff and it's like, oh no, you should really tell Tony, you really shouldn't. Oh, and then there's repercussions. From what I said, you shouldn't have it. I want to have it back, type thing. She's just like going to prison, like stealing suits, doing this dumb shit. It's just like, because we gotta save her. We're in a little world right now. We're in a tiny little miniature world, the size of like, just bacteria you can't even see, smaller than that even. And then we're like, we gotta go. And then this little marshmallow man walks up to you and says, oh my god, we're struggling with famine down here or whatever. And then she's like, Dad, we have to help them. Have a heart and all this other stuff. And it's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're not a real. Am I meant to believe? Like, what? Of course, Paul Rudd is right. Let's get the fuck like. Oh my god, it's pissing me off so much. But yeah, even outside of all this stuff, they're having like this dialogue about all this stuff that has seemingly happened in between the last movie and now. That like oh, she's like, also, how is this daughter like one of the best young scientists in the world out of nowhere, like engineers or something? Because you already got like Riri Williams that was introduced in Wakanda Forever as this kid genius, right? You got obviously Tom Holland's Spider-Man. You got Shuri, right, in Wakanda, right? Now you got this girl who like built some like tracking device for the quantum realm in a basement. No other person in the world has ever managed to do that. And it's just like, what, over a summer with no prior interest to this at all, really? It's just like, oh, guess I'm a child genius as well. Anyway, so they're all talking about like stuff or whatever, like, and they're just like going back and forth with this, what's meant to be like dramatic talk, like, but no, Dad, you're an Avenger. You don't want to save the people. Cassie, you don't get it, man. You don't get it. I do get it. Because when I was working in the slums, I built it with a box of scraps. Don't say that. You don't understand what I went through. I was struggling. I was crying. I was in the pits of hell. And like, they're just having this moment. I'm just sitting there watching it. They're just like all talking about like nonsensical nonsense, like meant to be this moment I'm meant to care about. And I just burst out laughing. I'm just watching it and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I mean, I'm losing my goddamn mind. And I still got a majority of the film left. When I say I'm halfway through, I'm like 40 minutes in. It's crazy. Like, I remember a point in time, sort of when Infinity War came out, the sort of go-to worst films in the MCU were Thor: The Dark World. This is what everyone just got agreed on. They'd say Thor: The Dark World, and they'd say like Hulk, right? And I was never one of these people who said every single film that came out. I was never someone who was like, oh, Marvel is mainly A's all the time. They're always putting out A's. Like, it'd be rare for them to drop a B. Like, no, I'd be fair to them. But even I thought, like, sometimes we get A's from Marvel. Sometimes you'll get C's. Sometimes you'll get, you'll usually get B's. You'll usually get C's. Sometimes you'll get A's. But, like, I remember being at a point where I thought, well, like, Thor: The Dark World and Hulk will always be the worst movies in the MCU. Like, I didn't actively think this, but subconsciously I just sort of thought, like, now looking back, like the Hulk and Thor: The Dark World will always just be the worst films in the MCU, and that's just always how we're gonna look at it. And like, even the bad films at the time that I didn't really like Captain Marvel or something, or Ant-Man and the Wasp, I still kind of just classed as like low rate C tier films. And then in Phase 4, like Marvel have just managed to found a new level of low, where it's like they've actually managed to put out films that are arguably worse than Thor: The Dark World, because like Thor: The Dark World, all intents and purposes, is boring basically. But like I'm not offended in the same way I am by like when I saw Thor: Love and Thunder, or like even like now thinking about it, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, fucking hate that film. And then now this, and it's like what's making me like actually hate this less, because it is kind of so bad, but I'm kind of like enjoying how bad it is in a way. Is the fact probably that I'm not seeing in cinemas. Like I can imagine if I went to see it in cinemas, like I have all the other films, I'd be ranting a lot more. Like it'd be more coming from a place of rage. But yeah, it's just weird because at a period of time I thought, yeah, sure, Marvel are gonna put out bad films. Sometimes they're gonna put out good films, but they're never gonna be like The Dark World, so Hulk. Those are always gonna be the two worst. And I was like, no, like it's so hard to compare because they're like bad and like Thor: The Dark World. I'm sorry, Thor: Love and Thunder and Quantumania are bad in such different ways to like the way Dark World and Hulk are bad. But it's like, are they worse than those two? Like, we gotta have a genuine debate. And they're coming like so thick and fast right now that it's worrying. And like, I know we're off a high at the moment with Guardians of the Galaxy. I'd say, are we in a new phase now? By the way, are we in phase 5? Like, is phase 4 over, or are we still in phase 4? I don't even know. They haven't really made that clear. But I think if you look at what Marvel's got next, it does worry me because it's not like oh we just saw Guardians. That's a reason to think the new ones are gonna be good. Like they've all been filmed already or like in pre-production or whatever. Like the fact Guardians is good or bad is not gonna change the trajectory of the film that comes out next. It's just that's not how it works. But like I don't know, like when I look at the titles coming up next, I'm like, not something like Guardians franchise film. We already know those movies are good because you've seen the two prior. Same with Spider-Man, right? Same to an extent with also Black Panther. But like I'm looking at this Marvels thing and I'm thinking, oh no, Nelly, that looks like one of the Marvel's TV shows, and Marvel's TV shows, in my opinion, we don't need to film with that. Blade is now on pause because of the writers' strikes and stuff. I mean, Fantastic Four, I feel like if they get the casting right and the director right, could be good. I mean, I think they previously had John Watts on that, and I think it was a good idea, just trying to get someone fresh. I think I liked what John Watts did with the Spider-Man trilogy, but I think we leave it there. I don't know, like it's just a lot of uncertainties with some of the trailers, the Thunderbolts, like I don't know, and like I can no longer look at films and be like, oh, that's got a good cast, it'll probably be good, because like I like Steven Yeun. Is it? How do you say it? Steven Yeun. You know what I'm talking about. I like him as an actor. He's up there for me, but I know Marvel can ruin him. I know they can make him look like I'm watching this film and I'm thinking all the actors in like I don't want to be out of order, because they're all no, I'm not actually being out of order. I'm actually complimenting them. All the actors in this film are like, they just you know what? Actually, who's actually looks like he's been alright so far has actually been Jonathan Majors. But like Paul Rudd and like especially the daughter, his daughter, just like, and then like the others have just kind of been there. But I just feel like all of these actors are really good. That's because I've either seen them and stuff before, or I just believed that they're good. And it's crazy how like you can just be fucked over by like what you're given, like script wise, the setting, your whatever it is. I don't know. Do they make this? Is this film like a sort of some kind of challenge just to try and make a film in a week or something? I don't know. Like it's like Spy Kids. You walk down there's like this little three-headed like glorp thing splashing around. They randomly got Bill Murray. Can we stop randomly just having Bill Murray in movies? That's been happening a lot recently as well. You'll watch a film, and then they'll pan to like this new character that like adding to this section of the film or whatever, and it's Bill Murray's face, and they always do like this pan over as if like it's some kind of Easter egg or some kind of reveal, just because it's Bill Murray. Like they pan over like the same way they do when Captain America catches the hammer, as if we're all meant to cheer. Is Bill Murray like has more power in the minds of the audiences than I realised, because they pan to Bill Murray as if I'm meant to be like like jumping up, like cheering and hollering and stuff. Yeah, cool. Bill Murray said. Bill Murray as well. Like, I don't. We need to stop putting Bill Murray in films. His perform. I know he's old, but his performances, he's just phoning it in for money. I don't even know what he was going for here. Just sort of, just doing what I'm doing now. Just saying stuff. Just speaking out words. Like, I don't. As bad as this, as I think about it though now, like Thor and Doctor Strange are just bad. I didn't like them. For whatever reason, this film is so bad that I kind of like it. Now, when I say that, I mean I'm giving this, well, it's not over yet, but I'm going to give this film like a 3 out of 10. But it's got something about it that it's kind of fun to talk about. I don't know. Because it's just such a what the hell's going on here. I had other stuff to talk about. It wasn't really that important. It was like still that sofa thing I told you about the other day. Like that £8,000 sofa that was left on the side, and the TikTok person took it into her house, like cleaned it, and now it's like everyone's making fun of it on Twitter and stuff, as Twitter does, because she has literal like rubbish out of the street in her home now, and now everyone's like making tweets like, hey guys, can anyone help? I yesterday had a really bad Chinese, and basically I had extensive amounts of like diarrhea, blood-filled diarrhea all over my sofa, and I put it outside to dry. I just went outside and I can't find it, and then I'll post a picture and it'll be the sofa she took in, and then everyone just posts different stories like, hey guys, I was wiping my STD-ridden boxers over my sofa and I can't find it. Hey guys, I just put my sofa outside because it was ridden with 7 nests of bed bugs. I haven't, and it's just like that. And it's like, I wonder if she watches these memes and she sees these memes on Twitter, and she's like, if she does genuinely still have in her house while she sits on the sofa, and then she does just kind of like start to itch a bit, or if she's like, oh, these are funny. That one's yeah, I gotta get this just out of here. Because, like, I think it would kind of freak. And also, it'd be kind of awkward, like, if you ever had friends around, like, everyone knows, oh, that's your, that's the pavement sofa. That's the infamous Manhattan bedbug sofa she's got over there. You've got friends coming around, oh, no, we've got space, you can sit next to me. I'll sit. I'm all right over here, cross-legged. I'll just, sitting cross-legged on the floor, just sort of, I'm good. But I got my sofa, there's space on the sofa. Yeah, no. I actually prefer the floor type thing. Like, to me, it'd become too much of like a mental thing. Like, I'd just be like weirded out and be like in my own head about it. I'd have to get rid. But yeah, it's way too early or late. Full circle. What was I talking about? Yeah, for this now. That was all. 152C153.
Here with the kids, and they had like 3 kids, and the geezer was probably on like maximum 20 bags a year. Like the most boring bloke you'll ever meet. He was like a hero.